This Good Morning Northwest Morning Sprint is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
6:53, it's time to get you ready for your weekend here in the Morning Sprint. Olivia Roberts has what we can expect when former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is sentenced today, and Destiny Richards is getting you prepared for a dangerously hot weekend. But first, to Mark Peterson with a look at just how hot it's going to get.
So hot that the excessive heat watch has now been changed to a warning, and we see that statewide Idaho and then into Montana. So this is far-reaching and far to the south, and it's going to continue. Now we look at the weekend forecast. Now today 94, but again we're going to match some records if we hit these forecasts. Of course, get hotter, we're going to break them. 100 and sunny. That matched record 1925. You'll remember 2015. We hit 102 degrees. We were downtown at that time covering Hoop Fest.
And playing in Hoop Fest. A burn ban now in effect for all of Kootenai County. The Kootenai County Fire Chiefs Association issued the ban because of extreme temperatures and low humidity in the forecast. It applies to all fires except for recreational fires in an approved fire pit. The Fire Chiefs Association is also warning about the use of fireworks as the 4th of July approaches. They're asking people to use safe and sane fireworks in gravel or asphalt areas. And a reminder, aerial fireworks are illegal in Idaho. City of Spokane is asking you to do your part in conserving water during this heat wave. One of the easiest ways to reduce usage starts with how you water your lawn. So here are some tips. First, adapt an every other day watering schedule. Next, set your sprinklers to only water between 6 p.m. and 10 a.m. Avoid washing driveways or other hard surfaces for now. And finally, avoid watering on windy days. You can find a link to all these tips at KXOY.com. Scientists say excessive heat and drought across the region is creating the perfect storm for wildfires and poor air quality. Climate change contributes to these drought conditions and makes trees and shrubs more likely to catch fire. Scientists say it's affecting the number and intensity of fires, not just in the U.S., but worldwide. A new study found the 2019 fires in Australia, which burned more than 500 million acres, were impacted by human-caused climate change. If you have questions about wildfire prevention or anything else, go to go to the Q&A section on KXOY.com and ask away. We will go to the experts for you to get your questions answered.
These record-breaking temperatures are really going to be dangerous if you're not prepared to handle the heat. There are 2 heat illnesses that can sneak up on you if you're not prepared. The first is heat exhaustion. That comes with nausea, fatigue, and dizziness. If you're experiencing that, just go to a cool indoor place and you'll need to hydrate. That can also lead to heat stroke, which is more serious. It's associated with a headache and confusion. If you want more information on these, as well as how to prevent yourself from contracting these heat illnesses, you can go to this story on KXOY.com.
Well, in just hours, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin will learn his sentence for the murder of George Floyd. Chauvin faces decades in prison, with several legal experts predicting a sentence of 20 to 25 years. Now, the guidelines for someone with no prior criminal history like Chauvin call for a sentence of up to 15 years for second and third degree murder and up to 4 years and 8 months for second degree manslaughter. The prosecution is asking for at least 30 years, citing multiple aggravating factors. Now, the defense is pushing for a new trial and Chauvin's release. You can watch the sentencing live right here on 4 News Now when ABC News airs a special report at 11:30 this morning. We'll also be streaming it live on KXOY.com and on our streaming app, KXOY Plus.
Well, we should learn new information today about a 40-year-old cold case murder involving a young college student from Idaho that's back in the spotlight. The FBI will talk about Kristen David's murder in Lewiston this afternoon. David, a University of Idaho student, was kidnapped and murdered while riding her bike. Today, the FBI will talk about their renewed effort to solve her case. We'll have a crew in Lewiston covering the news conference today. You can watch it happen live starting at noon on KXOY.com or again on our streaming app, KXOY Plus. Governor Jay Inslee is not extending the current eviction moratorium that will expire on June 30th. Instead, he's creating a program to bridge the transition for renters and landlords to get back on track. Renters are expecting to start paying rent in full by August 1st, but there are still protections in place. Landlords will only be able to evict when all counties have an operational rent assistance program in place. We have details about the new plan on KXOY.com. Coming up next on Good Morning America, it's being called the Great Resignation. Record numbers of people expected to quit their jobs this summer now that the worst of the pandemic is behind us. GMA has the details. We'll also have a final check of weather next.